The 1500 meter, there was so much pressure, if you want to call it pressure, and anticipation as well. The morning of the event, the Sports Illustrated program guide came out. I was on the front. I joke around and tell people on February 8th, no one knew my name. I mean, I could have set myself on fire in the Home Depot aisle when I worked there, and no one would have cared. No one would have known. Coming to the 1500 meter, I think the article said, like, Derek Parra today races in his favorite race or his best chance to win gold. Come watch him race. So there was a lot of anticipation and pressure from the American crowd that I succeeded. And so when I went out there on the ice, I knew that I had to execute as best I could 3 or 4 different things that I had worked on for the last 4 years. And at that point, it was on autopilot. I had envisioned that race 1,000 times in my head. And it's almost as if when the gun went off, I went into that play mode, and it was just mimicking what I had seen in my mind, and it worked out. Crossed the lines, heard the crowd erupt, looked up on that board out there and saw my name with my world record time, and I felt nothing. It was incredible. I remember going around the turn, just like throwing my hands up in the air, saluting the crowd. I didn't feel a thing. And it wasn't until probably about 3 minutes later that it all came back. Everybody in the crowd singing the national anthem for something I did, and it was just something I'll never forget. I mean, it's 14 years later, and I still get emotional about that one moment. I keep my medals in a flag that I was given from a woman in stands. After my silver medal, I knew that I'd won. I found out I'd won silver. I ran down the ice sheet, crossed over, climbed the wall, got up to the stands where my father was. My father had never seen me skate before. So I'm 32 years old. He saw my first race, and I won a silver medal. Went up there, I went to give him a hug, and this woman who was sitting next to him jumped in front of him and gave me a big hug. And I went, hey, thanks, appreciate that. And I gave my dad and brother a hug. And this woman gave me an American flag, and she said, here, go out and run around the infield with it, and I said, okay. So I went back down, put the flag, there's probably a picture somewhere where I'm running around the infield with the flag above my head, stuck around for the flower ceremony in the venue so that the athletes can salute the crowd that was here to watch the event. Went back up afterwards to give the flag back to the woman, and she says, no, can you keep it? I want you to keep it. And I looked at her and I said, I can't, it's an American flag. And she said, well, no. And then she kind of got into this conversation of, I've been sitting here with your dad, and we've learned about everything you've been through, and she said, this is great, I want you to have it, please take it. And I said, well, thank you. Well, at that point, she gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek and said goodbye, and gave my dad and my brother a hug and kiss as well. As she walked away, I looked at my dad and I said, who is that? He said, I have no idea. This is a woman who sat next to him for that race, asked some questions, got involved in the moment, celebrated with us, gave me this grand gesture for me, an American flag. And for me, that was so symbolic of everybody who's been part of my journey. So now today, since that day, I've kept my medals wrapped in that flag in a Ziploc bag that I had, probably from a trainer, and inside of a popcorn bag, canvas popcorn bag in my dresser drawer.